Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a announcement video. I didn't realize until my last, some comments in my last video that I really didn't announce that I was pregnant here on YouTube, but yes, I am pregnant, and I did ask if you guys would be interested in seeing kind of like an update video on my first trimester, and so some people were interested, so here I am filming it. I'm going to do some blogging about my pregnancy, obviously, because that's going on in my life right now. It's been affecting kind of like my skin, makeup. Obviously it will start affecting my clothes at some point. So it definitely is gonna probably be in my, be reflected in my YouTube channel and on my blog. But by no means is it gonna take over. So I was interested in kind of doing some like trimester update videos. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos, you can let me know. I don't mind doing any other videos. I just didn't want to kind of like bombard you guys with like pregnancy videos, but if you are interested in the week-to-week updates, I will be posting those on my blog, which is unlocked now, so where you can follow from like week 4 to the current week, kind of like bump watch, symptoms, cravings, kind of like my whole journey through my pregnancy, and I'll continue updating there weekly, and then there will be a video every now and again. I did a whole lot of reading. When I found out I was pregnant, I did all this reading, and I feel like I did too much reading in the beginning, because now I'm just kind of like, oh, I already read that or whatever. But I mean, and it's like 2013. I have apps that tell me kind of what's going on with the baby. Every day it has tips, every week what's happening with the baby, what kind of changes I should be expecting with my body. So being pregnant for the first time is scary. There's a lot to worry about, especially having access to all this information. It gives you a lot of stuff to worry about, but at the same time it's a little comforting, because it's like you kind of know what's going on, even though in pregnancy world everything I'm learning is like a big contradiction.
It could be normal in this case, but it's not normal in this case, but most of the time it's normal.
Anyways, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and really just talk about my first trimester and how it went. I must say it was not, I don't want to say it was easy, because at the times, and there's definitely been some times where I'm like, this is not easy, why didn't anybody tell me this? But in comparison to what I've heard from a lot of other people, I feel very lucky and blessed that I have had a pretty smooth pregnancy. My symptoms haven't been outrageous, they haven't been super consistent. I haven't spent days vomiting, I haven't spent days upon days upon days just being so nauseous. In the earlier weeks I was nauseous pretty much all day, every day for a few days, and some of those days were terrible, but I was able to work. It wasn't like I had to miss work. Really it just mostly affected like my social life and my blogging life, because when I wasn't working I didn't want to do anything. And another big symptom I feel like I've had is pretty much being tired. So other than that, I never vomited at all, even though sometimes I kind of wish that I would have or could have, because I thought maybe that would give me some relief, but from what I hear it doesn't. It's like once you vomit you just might not stop, so I'm glad that I didn't. And that was mostly consistent through like the first 7 weeks, and then after that the nausea started tapering off a little bit more, and the tiredness actually started picking up more. So towards the end of my first trimester I find that I've been a lot more tired than in the earlier weeks. That I was just more nauseous. Maybe I was tired, but I was so nauseous that I was like laying down all the time. It wasn't as apparent to me. But as the nausea tapered off, I did notice me becoming a lot more tired. Just doing normal things that I would do would just take a lot more out of me. So, and I had like a few weeks where I just couldn't work out. Like I just didn't have the energy. But I tried to at least work out 3 times a week for most of my trimester. I think there was a solid 2 weeks that I didn't do anything at all, so I don't think that that's horrible. First trimester is 14 weeks, so for at least 12 weeks I was able to get some type of like activity, and so I was kind of happy with that. And as my energy is starting to pick up a little bit, I feel like I'm gonna kind of want to, well, not kind of want to, I want to continue with that, because I know being active during your pregnancy is like really, really important.
Ooh, I really love this color.
Oh, my pregnancy brain. So pregnancy brain, I don't know, I've read that it's kind of like a myth. I read that it is like a symptom, but I definitely think I have it. I'm already a pretty forgetful person, but I always remember to write everything down. I'm very much a list maker. Now I forget to write my list down. I forget this. I forget what I'm talking about in the middle of my sentence. I mean, I honestly feel like I have been afflicted by the pregnancy brain. Stuff that I always remember to pick up paper towels if we're out or anything that we're missing in the house. I always forget it now. It's like my husband is like having to learn how to like remember to get stuff because he's realizing that he cannot count on me to replenish and restock in the household if we run out of something because I'm always forgetting. So, and then I just forgot like that I was going to talk about that. I was like, there was another symptom I was going to talk about. Duh. Pregnancy brain. It's a real deal. One of the symptoms that has been kind of like came pretty early and was kind of annoying me is that my skin got oily. So a lot of people say, you know, when you're pregnant you have this glow, and you do, and it's oil. Like, and I read that too, like when you're pregnant your skin tends to get oilier, and so while everybody else thinks you're glowing, you're really just kind of like becoming like a grease monster. And mine hasn't gotten out of control. I feel like I've been able to manage it pretty well, but at first I was definitely thrown off because the products that I have are not, I have some oily skin products, but very little because I don't have oily skin. So that was kind of a different thing for me because I was like, well, kind of had to start changing my beauty regimen because of my pregnancy. Cravings wise, I feel like in the beginning I was really having a lot of food aversions more so than cravings. I kind of became more of a picky eater. Like, I'm a person that can like have something at home, I can just eat it. That was not the case at all. Most things, like if I looked at it, like it would literally, looking at in my cabinet sometimes, I would just want to vomit even thinking about eating like crackers. It's like I had a specific taste for something. That's the only thing that I wanted to eat in that moment. So I feel like a lot of the stuff that I ate during my pregnancy that I was like happy to eat was like soups, sandwiches, even though a lot of times, I mean, I would crave the sandwich and I'd eat it, and then after I ate it I didn't feel so good. And I felt like I noticed that a lot, so I kind of stopped eating sandwiches as much. Did like eating grilled cheese. I had like a grilled cheese like 2 weeks kick where I just wanted grilled cheese with pickles in it, which I don't know if some people might think that's weird. I don't think that's that weird. At Waffle House they sell pickles with your grilled cheese, and I've always thought that actually was good because I really like pickles, but maybe some people would think that that was like a weird pregnancy craving. Not so much. I didn't really consider it that. I also had a big aversion to meat, which I later read that like back in the day there was so much like contamination problems with meat that it could be like an innate feeling for pregnant women to like really want to stay away from meat. So I thought that was strange. I've never been a huge meat eater, but I did go a lot of meatless meals, and I still kind of do. Like, I don't really care for meat as much, so I didn't really notice it until my husband pointed it out, and he's like, okay, where's the meat? Like, you're cooking stuff for dinner and there's like no meat. Or
after just like the warm like meat.
I had like a lot more cravings for like carby type food. Carby, is that a word? Carbs. What else? And like salty stuff. So early on in my first, like probably the first half of my trimester, I was really craving chips, which is odd to me because I'm not like a big chip eater. I don't keep chips in the house, but I really was like craving chips. And then like as I got later in my trimester, I started craving more like a little bit more sweet stuff. So like ice cream, like I really want ice cream all the time, but instead of eating ice cream, I've just been like freezing yogurts and stuff. It kind of like tastes very similar, especially those Yoplait whips, the chocolate ones. They taste like yogurt. I mean, they taste like ice cream. So that was just like a helpful tip for anybody who's like big on ice cream. But I haven't had anything like super strange. I hear like later on in your pregnancy is kind of when you have those like, I need this now or I'm gonna kill you kind of moments, and I haven't had them. Now, I'm still getting really used to like my new pregnancy body. One thing I've always, like my body, I definitely have always had like butt and hips, so I've always had a really flat stomach. So now that I'm pregnant, it's like this thing that I'm used to being like flat, and like my upper body is really small. Like my boobs are getting bigger, my stomach's getting bigger, and it's kind of like freaking me out a little bit. And I know it's all for a good cause and stuff, but it's just like not what I'm used to, you know. I'm like, I can deal with having a big butt and hips, and that's something I've always had to deal with and battle with, but I'm like, at least I could have always relied on like having a smaller upper body, you know, flatter stomach and stuff, and I'm like, those are my comfort zones, and now they're being taken away from me. So that's a really big adjustment.
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
I talked about my boobs getting bigger. Well, at first I was super excited that my boobs were getting bigger because I have such small boobs, and sorry if this is TMI, but this is a pregnancy video, but my boobs like grew for the first like 4 weeks. I was like, oh my gosh, my boobs are bigger, they're fuller, and I'm thinking they're gonna just keep growing, and I'm just so excited. And then they just stopped growing. So my boobs have been a little bigger, a little fuller, but they're still pretty small, and they stopped growing around 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know if they'll continue growing later, but for right now, they're kind of like just chilling where they're at. And I was like, oh, I guess we'll see what happens with them. If you like these type of videos, if you're interested in seeing more videos, type of updates in regards to my pregnancy, just let me know. Otherwise, you can keep up with my pregnancy on the blog at beautynthebronzer.blogspot.com, and I will have all that linked below. Also, you can see like my bump pictures on there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.